few years ago.
He won't start without.
I maybe caught her the evening before, or afternoon, after I
I wanna see that. Bill.
The minutes are gonna be like a smiley face or frown.
Really? Yeah. I started poking bullets in. He wasn't any good like you.
All of a sudden you're
Good morning.
had been the race started.
Still pretty good catch on that goal. Good catch. Look at all the total. Yeah, still, it's just him, man. That thing fly, and fly, and fly, and fly. No. But my blood up. Yeah, I come around the corner, they have a golfer that I take. Oh, yeah. If I hit that, I go flew off the golf cart. Yeah. It's amazing how it's like, you know where, everything is, and you look and it's like, hey, nothing else on the roof. Well, I had a cup of coffee with me, and I was just taking a drink, and I just put down, packing the whole. You by your house? No, back there.
No,
behind
I do
John.
not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw him last week. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I think that was with Handicraft. Oh, okay. There you go. Have that. Well, but it's when I got back into it, I am having fun. It is. I guess that was, what a place to be. And then it doesn't become fun for yeah.
This is for the barn.
You know, if we get great.
This is your sound system, and I'm not sure what this one. So it doesn't stay down there, but.
You know.
Well,
It doesn't really look like it's pretty.
I don't know if you can.
I did a double boost, mm-hmm. Did a double. How did you get six?
The point would be, the point of it would be.
Yeah, I found it down there.
Yeah, thank you.
See what else, we use the motor sticks. Yeah, the whole thing is kind of.
Should I ask the girls?
Oh, yeah. I've never where I've been, I guess, but you have to pull under it. But even that is tough. They pull sideways, the only thing that didn't pull sideways was the two bears that took my grabs. We had them on camera on video. The snap, the bear jumps in the air, they sit right there. But otherwise, yeah, they're a lot cheaper than. We make our own. Well, that's, yeah. I stopped over Arch yesterday. Not open. Yeah. Or he wasn't open. Had to go look for something. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you guys open. The other day, the guy stopped and went open. What time is that? 4:30.
Motion by Taylor, second by Bill. Last month's meeting, G. All in favor, say aye. grounds, opening bids and awarding speaker sound system.
So that would be this one. Do you want me to make the time to call and see who this for, or just not open this one? Cause this is not marked. And I don't know what it's for.
Yeah, I mean,
You want me to take it down there and ask Tracy if she knows?
They should have marked it on there, whether you accept it or not.
Area Jackson in the courthouse anymore. Except for that.
okay. Bids for sound system. By sound installations. Triple walls. Barn speakers. Regular speaker, whatever that is. 16/2 high strand speaker cable. Check speaker cable in. Miscellaneous parts, fittings, screws, et cetera. Total bid was $8,605.
One there,
Pardon?
is there more than one? There's, yeah, there's a couple. Daryl can explain some of that, do you want him to explain?
Yeah, you can.
You got a copy of the bids?
Come on up here.
So what we're looking for is the new, or the multi-purpose barn, because we had to move the auction into that now. Sound system, we have no sound system in there, so what we did is requested a bid to get a new sound system put in there. And then also on the polling track to add another, 2 loudspeakers out to the pit area. So that's, one of the options was, I believe, this one here for $8,600, I don't know if you want to pass that around, but that is just, putting speakers and wires into the barn. And if possible, we can use our existing system that we have on the pulling track and move that over into there and just use that. If we're not able to, this one is to basically mirror the system that we have at the pulling track.
What's that one for?
51,
Yeah.
51, 51, and that's with the, soundboard, right? Is that?
Yeah, that's all, the whole new sound system.
Pulling track.
Barn,
This is for demolition of the barn.
Right, it'll mirror that.
demolition of the barn.
And this last one for $6,268, that is for adding additional speakers out on the pulling track going out into the pit area. That'll be 2 loud horn speakers going out.
How much was that again?
6268.98.
And the reason that one is up a little bit is because if we do add them to speakers, what we would have to do, the amplifier that we currently have isn't big enough to do anything, so we would have to, purchase a new amp and put in our current sound system.
So that amp is in 62, 68?
Yeah.
So basically, if you do all 3 of them, you're looking at, 20-some thousand.
Yeah, yes.
Where's this money coming from?
Fair budget.
Fair, but yeah, what we're doing basically is looking just to get permission to be able to do this project.
You've heard the,
And you're looking to do all three,
We're hoping,
Straight away.
yeah.
and there's enough money this year in the budget to.
Yeah.
go through this project.
If you could round it up a little bit in case there's unforeseen things.
Well, it shouldn't be, that's a bid, so. That's a bid.
Oh,
You'd have to round it up on a bid.
okay.
Well, one says bid, labor, installation labor includes travel and possible shop time, so it's in there.
Okay.
I guess all three of the values are there.
So, 21,000, it's gonna come up to 20,000 some change, right? Right.
Yeah, we're just accepting the bid.
Right, you're just accepting the bids, yeah.
so it's about 19.
No, so we don't have to put the dollar, just.
No.
So what's your pleasure, anybody want motion?
I'll make a motion to, this to take out of their budget.
Right, we have a motion.
Are these speakers that'll have to come down?
No.
They're gonna stay up through winter?
They stay up, yeah, they're all
warranted for that?
What's that?
They warranted for that?
Yes, yeah, we have the same system that's out there now, they stay on all year. So, for pulling track, we have the same ones out there now.
I have a motion made, seconded, accept the bids. For the sound system, fairgrounds. More discussion on it? Not, all those in favor, signify by aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thanks.
The East Point, that's what that is.
So that's the next on the list.
You're okay with
The town barn.
Carol can explain some of this too, you wanna back up here? Carol and Johnny?
What?
No, it's more Johnny. You can explain that as an.
Look that up.
Explain what's going on with these bids.
Oh, so, yeah, so there's gonna be a mix of bids in here, cause guys could bid either one part of the job or the entirety of it. So I know we got some, I think the few people I talked to, some came in as, I think, just concrete, some is demo and concrete, some is the whole project. I don't know what we got, I don't even know if people have got a hold of it, so.
Okay. Alright, this is a big cross-country training LLC. Baron. It's for demo of the existing, I guess, East Main barn. Removal of clay and prep gravel. Removal of footings and compacted back to grade. Finish grade and replacement of gravel with mulch compaction. Concrete labor and materials. Labor for construction of the new barn. Labor for electrician for removal of existing and reinstalling of existing. It does not include landscape around the haunch or sloping around the building. Estimates valid for 30 days. The total is $65,547.
That's an estimate or a bid?
Do you want anything here, or do you wanna?
The other ones are the barn too.
Right.
Yeah, there's,
41 and stuff. This was first.
No, they're all the same,
Oh, they're all the
same.
same.
build the whole thing.
This one was for the whole thing, yeah.
Including concrete.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like a finish grade right on the outside of the. Yeah.
Sure, we got Emerald Master. Okay. The proposal by Aleskow Concrete and Masonry. Weyerhaeuser. Laborers.
That's from Alesko.
Yeah.
So that bid there I know will be concrete only.
Concrete, yeah, rebar, concrete forms, nothing but miscellaneous materials, finish grade, about $500. Stamp work, anyway, the total is $21,625. That's for concrete only.
Yep.
Do I want to see it? This is estimate. John Excavating. I don't know if I used it late or not. We have, removal of clay. 41.25. 41.25. Concrete. With rebar, 5-inch thick. 10 by 60 apron. Number 4 rebar. It's 18,600. And then here's the demolition. 14,875. Says nothing about building either. It says estimate. Top of the sheet.
This one does too.
The cross-country clear is the estimate only. That's the estimate only, Jerry?
What?
That cross-country estimate?
That's what it says on it. Well, we required bid, so it's.
Where does one come from?
Well, we got, the fair has agreed to pay 25%, and livestock has agreed to pay 25%. So so we'd cover, between fair and livestock would cover 50% of the bill. And then we were asking you guys, yes, for the rest, either ARPA or,
Harper's gone.
okay,
Harper's gone.
yeah.
So,
Okay, this is just labor too, it's not for materials.
I don't know what thing this is.
That's what I was gonna question, I couldn't see it.
what'd you say?
That don't include the material.
You don't.
No. list of labor.
It's got concrete, labor, and materials for 30 by 60 new barn. 10 by 6 and 5 inch.
You know what I mean? They can't build that barn for 25,000. Material's gonna cost more than that.
The material's like 18,000. The list that we got from Tony Lumber, and so these guys, I know they contacted me, I mean, everyone here, I've sent them the material list, so.
I'm gonna double check.
So the first one's a complete,
Everything.
we're total out around 80,000 then, is that right?
What's that? It shouldn't be.
Materials?
It's got concrete, labor, and materials for 30 by 60 new barn and 10 by 65 inch thick beams.
Did that include the materials for the barn itself? Or just the concrete? Specific.
We've got a labor construction of 25, almost 25,000. I guess that would I'd have to ask them. I mean, they should have included it, but.
That was my interpretation, the same thing.
Carries.
Okay to talk, Tony?
Yeah.
Is it okay to talk?
Yeah.
Just a question, that first quote, that you opened, is that all? Is that demo, is that concrete?
That's what he's got.
So there's one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
all.
That's everything. Demo, do with the clay and prep for gravel.
I mean, to me, it seems low for everything, but, if it is, so be it. I mean, is it an actual hard bid?
You don't mention material in it for the rebuild.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're concrete, labor, and materials, if that's just for concrete, if they don't have their material list in here.
Because, so if you took the third quote you guys opened up was just concrete and demo. If you add them up, that's about $34,000. So just to build that new building, you're saying they can do it for roughly around $33,000.
Yeah.
To build that new building, it's probably possible, but, I think it's kinda low, but I mean, if they're giving a hard bid, so be it.
But your bid said that they could bid on different parts, so.
Parts of it, yeah.
Normally, like on a bid would say you're bidding on this, so if you accept the bid, the expectations is all in there, but without clarification, we really don't know.
It's even been on one part or all.
I should do the bid, but one of your own subs, contractors.
Subject to interpretation.
Yeah.
I think we need clarification. That's what I think.
Which they, I mean, possibly could award it, I mean, cause we gotta also find out where the other 50% of the funds are coming from.
Well, I think you gotta know what you're getting first. Before you award it.
Well, I'm not gonna disagree there.
It includes all the materials, all the labor and everything. It's one thing. If they don't include, it's just the concrete, that's a different story. I think we should hold this up myself for clarification on these bids. You don't have to disclose what everybody's bid is, but I think we need clarification on any of the bids. Myself. Contact the bidders and ask them.
Well, the only one to ask would be that one, see if their materials and Giles, I believe that's that one, that was just for.
You can go try to call them now and then come back and then.
I can go call them. Alright.
Material is.
What's that? Yeah, I mean, he should have because he got it all, so. The way they talked, they were gonna do the entire project.
Sounds good.
And there are no bids for the restroom.
Right.
Okay.
Do that, there's no bids for the restroom.
I guess the second item is work session regarding Moses Avenue property.
You wanna go into closed session?
Well, so Tony, Rebecca and Andy are here from Atollis Law, and they're who are helping us out with this. So I think maybe we ask Rebecca what we should do here, if she would like us to go.
I think should we go into closed session for that or no?
Right, so I think we should ask her
Ask
how
her
she wants to
opinion first.
proceed, yeah.
Let me good morning, everybody. I have the pleasure of being in my second Rusk County Committee meeting in 2 days. What an incredible privilege. So, good seeing everybody. As Ashley mentioned, Rebecca and I are assisting the county with implementation of what the county board authorized at its meeting last month. And so, there is a closed session on the agenda here to discuss the specifics associated with the offer. But when it comes to approving the RFP and bid process, that needs to happen in open session. So I do think that we go into closed session first, but then we anticipate action on items after we come back out into open session, if that makes sense. So I think that you would be within your rights to proceed with closed session now.
I'll make a motion to go into closed session.
Olivia starts to wave on
Deliberating and negotiating any purchase of properties and investing in public funds. Making other specified public business. Competitive control section.
You're welcome.
Negotiate right of first refusal contract.
Be one of my guys, from what I heard.
He said, you know, what's your career? He said, you know, I don't know, and went to the back and
Located College Avenue.
I said,
Which was constantly part of the following parcel. 26.
anyway, so you already knew that.
I did.
0000.
I didn't tell him.
Parcel 246
What I got.
dash
Then I-
03597
I found it.
dash 246 dash 03599 dash 0000.
you said it would cover numbers.
Now you wanna read the motion, I'll read it.
Okay, the motion would be to authorize the appraisal to be completed as soon as possible, approve the RFP with revisions, authorize legal counsel to negotiate terms with HCA, and offer to purchase and the right of first refusal in respect to 246-03596-000, 246-03597-000, 246-03599-000, and any other adjacent county-owned parcels.
Okay, now I need a motion.
Second it.
Motion by Gary and second by Paul Snyder. No discussion on it? Not all those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now. Next up is recycling, okay?
Oh, do we need to go back to the
Johnny,
the demo and rebuild the east wing?
Okay.
got an answer.
Alright, so I heard back from the contractor, that does not include the cost of the building materials, that pushes it to about, his bid to about $84,000. So,
With the materials?
that's with the materials, yeah. So what we're looking at now, when this all started, you guys, asked us to get, quotes, figure out roughly how much it's gonna cost. What we base that off of, we talked to a contractor, he did not put in a sealed bid, for personal reasons. But we got his bid here, and that's right around that 65,000 mark.
Plus the materials.
Plus the materials. Yeah, and actually it would possibly come in a lower, cause he's got concrete walls and footings to build back like it was, with a floor included. And we're looking at just doing a slab with a haunch, and put the building on top of that.
Can we hand them copies?
Yeah, here's copies. And this is just from this last February.
Well, we can't do that, that was not a bid thing, was it?
No, this, I'm showing you this because this is where our estimated cost came out of this, as he put this together for us. I guess personally, 84,000 is more than what we were looking at, so,
So, what was the, Trevor was proposed to pay for a portion?
25%, and livestock was 25 with with going up to, not over, $17,000.
So basically, you're saying you got 17,000 committed? Plus.
We got about 30 to 34 committed.
So
25%
that's
of
25% would be
84.
21,000.
It's 21 plus 17, it'd be 38,000 committed. Cool.
Well, we're going off the 65, and livestock agreed to pay 25%, but only up to 17,000.
But that's the total amount of potentially
Mhm.
38,000, right? No, we were talking about excluding lumber as far as the committee.
materials. That.
So, well, you're basing it on a bid of 65,000.
This bid here is for materials and everything. And now this is what we estimated our quote at.
When you guys figured on
When we came
putting
to
the
you the
ticket in
first time.
25%.
Yeah, and so when we came to you guys, you always ask for a number. So this is who we used to get a number for, or from.
Well, I guess that's what I'm curious is, so how much is actually committed?
The fair's committed 25%, then we got another 17,000 on top of it.
25% of the 65,000, right?
No, of the 84.
Well, yeah, we were
You
basically.
guys were hoping it was that, but you're
Yeah.
still committed 25% of 84, correct?
I believe so, yeah. We
We didn't discuss.
but we didn't
enough
discuss that,
who
I mean,
Livestock did, but
I think-
the fair didn't.
I think if we could do it cheaper than 84, why wouldn't we?
yeah. And
I
so,
mean, some of the
I
people.
mean, I know we have to find where the other 50%'s coming from. And I kinda did some rough estimates, like if we went up to 70,000, that puts us at 17.5. I know I'm pretty positive, speaking on behalf of the fair, that we'd be okay with throwing in 18, getting 17 from livestock. And then if the fair can, or the county can figure out where the other 50% would come from, you know, with putting a max at, you know, possibly 70,000. Because we only have one complete bid, I guess, you know, that's kind of what we're looking at, one that came in sealed. You know, we do have the right to refuse all of them. And if we could go, well, we could either rebid, but, the question I have, and I guess this is more for you, Jamie, now that we're not discussing ARPA funds, is RFP and everything even necessary going forward, because we're not requesting ARPA funds because they're gone.
So you're saying like moving forward with the project period, or?
Well, I would like to move forward with it, you know, if we can,
I mean, based
you
on the
know,
dollar
come from
amount.
here and move it, I don't know, it would have to go to finance next to look for the extra 50%.
Right, but ARPA is not what's requiring the bids.
It's the amount.
It's
Okay.
Financial
Yeah.
procedure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, if we don't know that we have funds,
Is that something we can hash out with finance? And just get approval to move forward with it? Well, you guys can move it to finance though. You know, I mean, you have, like I said, you have the right to refuse on these bids.
what,
And if we go discuss with finance on how much are, you know, is the county willing to throw at it?
I think it
And we
is,
can then kinda try to, you know, we got a sump, if we could get, you know, like I said, 70,000 puts both the fair and livestock right in at that, you know, price range. With the county covering the other 50%, we can, you know, piece together to come in under that. Gary's got it.
So, let me just throw this out here. So if the fair is gonna pay for some of this or whatever, 25%, what if you just give them approval to get started on the demo of it? I imagine 25% would cover the demo for sure.
Mhm.
And might even cover some of the concrete. It's not gonna cover the building, but, I mean, if they're.
are they gonna tear it down if we don't build a new building?
We can't use
Can't
it.
use it.
So the other
tear down-
question I would
so
have-
tear down, you already got funds for tear down.
We got funds for tear down, however, livestock put in basically contingent in their,
Building a new building.
is that the county agrees to put up the other 50%. So if not, then the livestock will pull back 17,000.
So they got money that they wanna spend right now. I mean, if you guys would authorize to give them approval to start.
Then we're committing to an unknown, that we're gonna have to rebuild this and we don't even know what. We're kind of putting our word that we're gonna approve it when we don't know if we're gonna approve it at this point.
We gotta decide where the money's coming from.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
But,
where the money's coming from and how much it's gonna be, if it's,
well, like Johnny said, that building is not usable right now, so eventually something has to happen.
Our biggest issue is, and I would ask you, is what do you recommend we do for, you know, at least the fair, cause we have to move animals already again this year, because last year we moved goats and sheep to what was the original pig barn, and with the numbers we have enrolled, they don't all fit in there, so we have to have somewhere to go with them now. And that's where the urgency came up with this, as it's been, because it's a building that's unusable to us now. And I understand it's already getting late in the year for a contractor, but, and I know I probably don't like dragging it out, if we can at least get it demoed and even a slab up there and have a contractor just kinda, I don't know how, I don't wanna say shore up, but make sure that the round barn is structurally sound where we took off, and get on their schedule to put up a new barn the following, even fall, they might be able to squeeze in, it'd be after the fair, but we'd at least have a usable space there.
We could put a tent up if
We could put a tent if we had to for this year.
so, as it's on the agenda today, there was a opening bids if possible, or
Possible awarding, yeah.
for demo and rebuild of east wing, so I don't, if you're asking for authorization to tear down, it's not on the
Well,
agenda.
that's demo. Tear down is demo.
Was that part of the, bids though? This,
So this I'm sorry. So the last bid, I think, was for demo and concrete, so that would have totaled $33,400. I'm just wondering if the fairgrounds are gonna pay for the money, would they be able to cover that $33,400?
without the other part committee, right?
With what other part? With all livestock.
Livestock committee.
Livestock's
And
gonna
livestock's
commit
only
as
gonna
long
commit
as,
if the county board commits.
if the county board commits 50%, yes. But if we, that's, I guess, kinda where I'm at. We don't, I know, we don't understand or know exactly where, the funds are coming from. But if we could get a set price, and then at least take it to finance, like up, like you're allowed to go up to 70,000. I mean, like I said, you have the right to refuse all the bids, and we can, you know, look at, I don't wanna say start over, but.
Well, we're also looking at the bathrooms.
Yeah, I understand that as
More
well.
Day expense, we don't even have quotes on that yet, do we?
So what do you do with a property that was just kinda left and not ever taken care of?
Well, I went into this year,
You have this year.
lots of money.
You have this year, but the problem is that it wasn't taken care of, and that's why you have to. Because if you don't, you're gonna have buildings falling in. And so, this is a safety issue at the fairgrounds. This really is a safety issue. Have you been out there to look at it?
I'm just saying, as the agenda states today, I don't think we can
I'm.
authorize something that's not,
Safety issue,
that's
that's,
not on the agenda.
we got kids running around.
If you wanna go get a bid for tear down, and you said the fairgrounds is gonna pay for this whole thing, I would, and you need, for some reason, immediate answer, I would guess if you call it Tony, as long as it's coming out of your budget, I don't think.
Randy's on finance. He's here now.
As long as you called the appropriate chairs, cause you said time is of the essence, as long as it's coming out of your budget, it's where we get into using the county funds and we don't have an idea of what's going on here. That's where the roadblock is.
So you can't make a motion that, you know, we'd approve this to go up to 70,000 and push it to finance to find where the other 50%.
To let them fight it out, to
Let
see
us
if we
hash
can,
that out.
we can hash it out there.
I mean, you guys are looking at the buildings here. You know,
It's not like we're not willing to put in money.
because if we, you know, I mean, we got one bid sitting here right now for the complete. That was a sealed bid for the RFP, but that came in at 84,000.
It's more than 70,000.
So, we got one that we used for a quote to come to you guys to say, this is what it's, approximately what it's gonna cost. You know, that we had a contractor write up for us. You know, if we have a set budget of what we know we have to come under, then it's a little easier to work with.
What if,
And then you guys know what your 50%, that you're gonna cough up 35,000.
Which agenda item are you talking about making a motion under?
Well, I mean,
Opening bids?
your opening bids, but the way it looks right now, it's
Doesn't seem like
beyond
it's
the price of where, what,
related.
but it's beyond the price where you wanna pay. So
Right.
refusing all of the bids is what's a scratch. And then a motion to, we would approve to spend budget up to $70,000 with the fair
I think
paying
that,
25 and livestock paying 25, and the county,
It's not paying 17.
well, the fair would be. it'd be-
25% up to 17,000.
Yes, up to 17,000, you know, and the county, you know, push it to finance to find where we are gonna get the 50%.
I honestly think there's a lot of families that would come out if we had, like,
I
kids
just
come
don't,
out as a contractor and, or even like, I mean, he's a contractor and he's part of the fair, he's a big part of the fair, his kids are there. What if, you know, they came in and everybody helped put this together? You know what I mean, what if? I know we can't bid on it, I know No, we can't do that, I get it.
You got some different ideas, come back and put something on the agenda.
Has
We get
been on the
100%
agenda
donated funds, that'd be
We've been beating
numerous
this,
times.
we've been beating this dead horse
And
for.
we've now,
Over a
upset contractors where they refuse to do bids.
The reason why this contractor didn't put in the RFP is because he's upset that he's been come to numerous times for quotes, and
Nothing happened.
nothing's happened.
Okay, I make a motion to reject all the bids.
Is there a second?
I guess I have to second that because we don't have a whole bit anywhere here.
All right, we have a motion made, second, to reject all bids. Any more discussion on it? If not, all those in favor, signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Lots of time again.
Yeah, well, just keep, march on till she all goes.
John, is there,
Yeah.
on that concrete, are they actually pouring like a curb all the way around the outside?
No. So what we were looking at doing is just a flat slab with a 12 by 16 inch haunch, and then you set your building on top of that. So.
I can see why Kane's got upset, because I haven't been on this committee, but I've heard them entering.
Who's that?
I would say, talk to finance and get it on there, so they have a recommendation to where.
Well, you guys gotta push that to finance.
Well, you've got approval already for the stuff up for bids. Not bad.
Well, I suppose we could forward to finance, but we were just passing the buck. Anyway,
I make a motion, we update finance on what's going on and see what they wanna come up with.
So you need to been updated.
So what do you want, just update
I
on
don't know.
Fairgrounds barn project?
Yeah.
mine project.
But can you
I mean,
make any decisions
yeah.
if it's worded
You're
that way?
sitting here, you've been updated. I mean, can a decision be made? That's what I guess we're asking. If we come to
Instead of
finance, when
funding.
is that next week or whenever?
So what-
Can there be a consideration for funding at the next finance meeting?
If that's the motion these guys wanna make, I don't.
I mean, can they,
I just threw that out as a suggestion, I'm trying to figure out how.
could it be for an update on the East Wing with consideration of allocating funds? Would that be possible?
recommendation by.
Okay, I'll make that a motion if you got it written down.
What's the motion?
Is, move to finance for update at East Wing in consideration of allocating funds.
No recommendation.
And no recommendation.
Approve a building if you don't know the money's correct.
The big issue is money. Was there a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Okay, Jerry seconded. All just finance for an update, consideration of funding. No recommendation.
I did put that.
Heard the motion? Second. Any more discussion? Not all those in favor signify by aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, motion that for you. No, you can keep you off.
Tony, Gary has a question? Gary?
On the restrooms, since we're taking no bids, how do you wanna proceed with that? Do you want stop or send it out again, or?
We sent out an RFP, right?
Can you please send it out again? Give us permission to send it out again. There is hope, for another bid, or whatever you wanna call it. There's been interest.
How much do you think that they come in at?
John
Huh?
is asking how much do we think the bathrooms would come in at?
You're asking me, like, price-wise?
Yeah, don't ask him again.
Geez, that one I don't know.
I think I kinda told you guys around
I-
200,000.
I would say 2 to 250.
I would agree with Johnny.
The reason, I mean, I
I
had,
don't know.
I had people ask me about them, but it was this week, and I didn't have time to get a bid in by that, so they asked me to ask Gary if we could get they could get an extension. I said, well, it's gotta go to property today anyhow.
Just redo the inside.
Maybe that's finance where the money's going.
Yeah, okay, cause I don't know where. No, I'm just gonna-
Even if we accept the bid and they don't have money to pay for it, we gotta know where the money's coming from first. Or,
I think that was the hope of an arbor dreamed up before, and with that gone,
Yeah,
I mean, fairground's not gonna have it in their budget,
not that much.
so they're just kinda where we're stuck.
That's why I don't really like sending our RFPs out when you don't,
Paying
when you don't have the money. If you don't have it allocated, you shouldn't be sending RFPs out.
Well, that's not good. Probably weddings, so how many weddings do you have?
3 already, and it's only March.
Well, one thing aside here. We're back to recycling, I guess.
so what do we wanna do with that though? Do we wanna send it out for bids again, or, I think we need to find where we're gonna get the money first. We got an estimate of cost.
So you wanna do the same thing as you did with the
Yeah.
kind of the same.
If, you know, you bid it out, that does, just contractors off, they bid on something, then come around and say, oh, we don't have the money for it.
Right, to be fair though, we thought we had the money with ARPA, so
Right.
it's changed yesterday,
So,
so.
why send bids out if we don't have the funding source?
I agree.
So, I think I'm going to send the finance, see if we can get a funding source.
Right?
They can just forward it on to the county board.
Dream
See
on.
what the whole board wants to do.
Okay, well.
That's true.
Okay, so basically,
Is there a
the
second?
funding on fairgrounds, restrooms, and construction of funding allocation.
Ready?
You second? I'll second it.
You got one meeting left.
Okay, now we're ready for present. Recycling fairgrounds.
Nothing to report on recycling.
Excuse me, there's not an Erica Hergert in here, is there?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, now
We need funding.
now the trail's end.
So I guess following up with what transpired so far, last meeting you guys told me to do an RFP for the bridge down there at camp. But ARPA funds are no longer available for that, so should we even look at this? Should we look at funding sources first?
We do gotta do something with the bridge though, right?
Yeah,
The
something
bridge
has to
just
be,
even passable at this time,
currently at its current state, correct.
and there's possible insurance money, right?
No, cause it didn't, so the insurance would only pay out if there's over 10 grand worth of damages to the bridge. That tree falling on it did not cost $10,000 worth of damages to the bridge.
So then the insurance company can find us somebody for $10,000 to fix it up?
No,
Our deductible is $10,000.
our deductible, so if it doesn't cost over 10 grand to fix the bridge,
You think we can get it fixed for 10 grand?
no. You're not gonna find anyone to
The
touch it for
damage
10.
that was done specifically by the tree falling on it
Correct.
was less than $10,000, but with normal wear and tear, et cetera, in order to make it pass code
Pass,
or
yeah.
whatever, would cost more than that.
Because you're looking at
Then it wouldn't hurt to get a ballpark figure.
I've brought ballpark numbers to you guys.
Yep, to finance the funding source, instead of, because with the ARPA not being available.
Yeah, exactly, that's what I'm just saying, do we hold off on the RFP then, until we know that we have some kind of funding behind it?
That might be wise at this point.
Because we do have one put together, and it is stated in there, so the first smaller bridge may have to get done before the secondary bridge can. So,
So, yeah, I would say with the ARPA funding not being was talked about before for a
Yeah.
new funding source, yeah, I would say bring it to finance to see if a new funding source can be obtained. Otherwise, you bring it back here and then we're like, well, where's the money coming from?
Exactly, that's the reason why I.
Yeah, I think that would be wise.
So, I guess, do we look at the RFP and, you know, if you guys approve that and I go to finance and they tell me that there would be some kind of funds available somewhere, do we put it out then, or do we hold off?
So you're looking for potentially a motion to approve the RFP pending finance finding a funding source.
Correct.
I don't get it either. Well, the question Tony had was,
Why can't this go through forestry?
for grant.
It's not in,
It's not part of forestry.
Yeah, we already explored that option, it's not a park.
What?
It's not a park,
Present.
it's not a county park. Same with all the damage, cause of the winter, we didn't qualify for any of that funding.
But aren't you making it a campground?
Use campground.
We're currently not a campground, we are going to get a campground license.
Can we put like a thought park or something right at the end of the bridge?
2 swings and a slide.
Yep. Or a table.
But no, so yeah, that's, I guess it's on your guys' pleasure, I guess, moving forward on that.
Okay, did you have the RFP?
You have those printed out, right?
Oh, I'm sorry, I do, they're sitting right. Very sorry. I have it pulled up too. Actually just had me change one thing about, all permits and utilities to be paid for by contractor, just to make it a little clearer.
If, you're paying all these permits and utilities, is that saying that they can't use their electricity if they need or something? That's kind of what it applies
Is
to me.
utility, was that just like in a blanket one we used?
Well,
or-
just a blanket, but, most contractors have some great generator with.
Especially with that being, I mean, the
I guess
closest,
that is a little ways off.
it's a little bit remote, the closest spot would be the boathouse, and you're not gonna have,
An extension cord on it.
yeah, exactly, there, you're not gonna be able to run an extension cord all the way up to the second bridge.
If they were gonna do the first bridge, I'd be more.
The pool.
Using some power. by
If they wanted to plug in some drill batteries, just like that, that'd be fine, but if you're using major equipment out there, you're gonna have to run something besides, you know.
We didn't know dates, so obviously, we figured we could fill them in.
Yeah.
Today, but obviously, we're not gonna be able to fill them in today. If you're gonna push it to finance, maybe we could fill them in.
Well, and, even if finance says, because, you know, the dollar amount on these is gonna be more than what would be available in contingency, so chances are finance says, hey, we can take money from here, it's gonna have to go to full county board because it would eventually require a budget amendment, so, we wanna get the full board's approval on it.
Cause I had it set up so that way it'd be done by April 2025, so it'd be operational for next summer down at camp. Cause if you know, it says weather and time dependent, they could start, you know, June 1st if they wanted to take out the old one, cause it's actually to take out the old one, put in the new one, you know, the whole works. Cause it's gonna take some time to get the old one out, and if they have to pour footings or whatever for concrete for that to sit, you're not gonna be able to do that in the winter.
How can the insurance company say that it did more than $10,000 of damage? Before this, the bridge was operational. On a one person, whatever, it was still limited, but now.
So
it's
to put it
absolute-
back, alright, so to put it back to that one person limit.
Yep.
You're talking, I have it labeled, I didn't bring it with me, I think it was 5 2x4x16s, 1 2x4x8, and a couple 8x8x10 or 12s. You're talking maybe $2,000 worth of lumber.
Plus labor.
Yeah, but the problem is I couldn't find anyone to do it. No one's gonna touch that bridge in the state that it's in.
If you pay them enough. And if the insurance kicks in after 10 grand.
I'm just saying, cause I think it was not last meeting, the meeting before, I mentioned about that, we kinda dropped the insurance bid at that point, because that's what I kinda was told, you know.
I guess if you put a precedent to finance, I guess I wanna talk to James a little bit and Sharon a little bit more, before, but, we could probably explore some different options too, but I would, maybe like James and Phil said, maybe, push it to finance, maybe approve the RFP for now, just in case. But there are some other options we could explore, that would be. maybe
And at that point,
maybe
if you brought something to finance,
Yeah.
we could just say we funding it.
Correct.
Well, that is next week.
Yep.
We could do it.
No. What's your pleasure?
I guess I will make a motion to approve the RFP if finance is funded. Which, again, we may come up and say, yeah, we don't have it, but at least,
Cause I've already,
if finance says, okay, we got somewhere we can take it out of, then at least he gets the process started.
cause, I'll be honest, it was anywhere from 80 to 110 to put a new bridge in, that did not include taking the old one out. That was the estimates I was kinda getting as far as numbers, you know.
Talking about taking the old swing bridge out?
Yeah, well, it has to come out.
Well, I understand, but, so you're talking about 80 to 110,000 for a new bridge, not,
Not including getting the old one out.
well, sure, you must take the old one out.
It's gonna take some time to get the old one out.
But James had a great idea in the hallway.
Yeah, well, I did mention about maybe leaving the old one up and just blocking it off so you cannot use it, just put a new bridge alongside of it.
For nostalgia.
Yeah, exactly. So it's gonna be there until it can't be anymore.
That put us at any liability risk, Jamie?
I don't know, I was just thinking, cause then it would be, I'm gonna say theoretically cheaper, but,
We can put a sign up, but.
yeah. Right now, there's one on it.
Where it is
Right.
now.
In Rich Summerfield, we did ask him about that, and he says the county assumes liability all the time.
Yeah.
It just depends, so,
Right now, there's one that says stop bridge, close, bridge out, one of the two.
yes. But
And
if
it's
you
boarded up on
put
the
the
end.
Band-Aid on it, maintenance fixed that one, replaced the lumber. I mean, there's no reason one person limit 300 pounds, no vehicle traffic. That bridge has some life. left.
Oh, if we would, you're talking about fixing it and leaving it there.
Well, no, I think he's
I'm
talking
thinking if we were to replace it, not touch it,
to make it cheaper.
to
Yeah.
cut down on cost, if we didn't remove the old one. We
You
just put
can
one
still
alongside
see
of
it,
it.
it's very visible from the river. People still get the ambiance of a swinging bridge, just,
You won't be
they're
able to
not
walk on
literally
it.
jumping on it.
I don't know, I just,
I know what I'm doing as a kid, if there's
I understand,
a thing up there,
I'm just throwing out,
an option.
an option on it. Cause right now the RFP is to remove and replace, preferably with another suspension or swinging style, but with the option of,
How much do you think deconstruction is of the old bridge?
I have no idea on that. I'm gonna be honest, I have.
I mean, there'd be permitting involved, right?
To get it gone, so Dan Harrington, I did speak to him just briefly yesterday, and he has to look into a couple more things. But, we have to get a permit for each bridge for sure, if we did something with either one. And then, he said we have to check with zoning here, and we probably have to do a floodplain analysis of it too, for sure. Now, any more than that, I don't know, There were the ones that he knew up top, they've been so slammed with this, and he has higher priorities, because this one isn't even rolling quite yet. Because the spring we've had he's been hit hard with a lot of different things from, you know, for the bridges and stuff with the DNR, because they can get in to do them right now.
Other side, this side, I can see.
I mean, I think we could definitely, me and James and Shar talk, we could talk more at finance, but, I can tell you right now, if the county would take care of the permitting, I could make that bridge go away really quick.
I can't believe it costs a fortune to get rid of it. Easy to get rid of them. Got to move south a little.
We have access to multiple things, so I mean, I might have to talk to highway, but we have access to it.
Go down to the Bruce Bridge and watch it come through.
Your motion to forward it to finance.
Approve the finance, and it would be approved at finance and funding.
Okay,
Not much specification in it.
we have a motion by Bill and seconded by Phil. Send it to finance, funding.
I would go deal with Mike, he's the one that bids out all the snowmobile bridges. You can't, this don't tell you enough on what kind of bridge they're gonna make it. You can put a steel bridge in, but the arch, you gotta get the permit first for them to tell you what kind of bridge you could put in.
That's not what Dan was telling me down there, because what's there currently.
Right.
As long as we're.
Replacement,
Yeah,
but you still gotta have specifications on it.
so the specifications of the current bridge is there, because that's what we'd like to replace it to. So on the second page there where it talks about Bridge 2, it actually states how wide the bridge is, how long each span is. There's 3 spans, there's the east, a west, and a center span down, I think that'd be the next one. It's the first bridge to be the second bridge, Charmaine. So there, it talks about the current size of that bridge. So if you were replacing it in kind, which is what I think most of us would prefer, because that's always been part of camp, then you're talking the same, you know, there's all the specifications of what's there currently. Now, if someone, you know, comes back and say, hey, we can't build this, but we'll build you an arch style or, you know, what have you, these specs, you know, because it's just meant for pedestrians, and that is written in there. It doesn't have to go wheelers, it doesn't have to go mowers, it doesn't have to do any of that. It's pedestrian only. And maybe I'm out of turn on this too, because this is the first time I've done this, but, you know.
The way I look at it, we just built a 110-foot bridge, that was only $98,000. That's for 20 feet. You know what I mean? It's
20,000 on road rating.
25,000, yeah.
Well, that's the reason why I made the comment that I've gotten numbers from, you know, 80 to 110 as far as estimates for the new bridge. That doesn't necessarily, you know, include taking out the old one and all that. So we're right in the same ballpark you're talking. You know.
The estimates to get more competitive, but then you add in construction.
What?
I said you put it up for bid, the estimates could become in a little more competitive, knowing that there's competition, but then you got a deconstruction added in there, so.
That's you decide to deconstruct.
Well, as of right now, the RFP says to take it down, so.
Sorry, he just didn't have it, but he doesn't have an estimate on deconstruction.
No, I have no idea, but
That, I mean, we could always.
we could always do that ourselves and then someone else could put the new one in, you know, or whatever, you know. To save on cost.
Well, we have a motion for you, motion made and seconded, for finance, consideration funding.
Are you approving that RFP? Have it in there.
Coming up, Stan County.
More discussion on it? Not, all those in favor, signify with an aye. recycling or no?
She said she had none.
I have nothing to report for recycling.
Okay. Good. Then we're going to fairground report.
It looks great out there, the guys are doing great, that's all I have to say. Making it quick, Connie has to be out of here by noon.
Okay. Flagpole purchase and installation. With that, who's?
Yep, you guys wanna jump in? Fully funded by the fair, let me just start with that.
Yeah, we just want permission, we're looking at putting up a flagpole, 30-foot tall pole on the fairgrounds, to be used for our events and things like that. Derry, you can actually explain a little better.
Yeah, a couple, I'm actually waiting for one other quote to come back, and they won't be back till sometime this weekend, I guess. So the people that do it are on vacation, so they won't be back till this weekend. But what we're looking at, the veterans, local veterans are a huge sponsor in our fair. And we want to get a flagpole set up somewhere down there to kind of, and what they want to do is come in every morning, raise and lower these flags for us. Just kind of have an own ceremony to do that. We were looking at a couple different spots. I think one was down by the ball field, where she is highlighted there. And then another one was down over by the food booth that we have, down in there. So, I guess, but until we hear back from them, I think the rough cost is gonna be just over $3,000 to put this in.
Make the motion to approve.
Second. Self-funded flagpole.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor, made, seconded. More discussion on it?
Put the dollar amount in there, 5,000 or something.
No, cause I put the funding source in there. They're done.
Okay, any more discussion? Not, all those in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now, what's the structure for stage?
Fully funded by the fair, let me just start out with
You like to shorten these meetings, don't you?
that. Get to the point.
Hey, do we have one of those buttons that are?
Yeah.
Bill's got mine.
I got
no button.
Yeah?
So we're looking at building a 20 by 30 band stage, out at what we're now calling Action Alley behind the grandstands. It will be a permanent structure. It's gonna go in by that first electrical pedestal right across from what we call the watering hole, the Jello pavilion in that area. Just looking at putting up a new stage. We got that one trailer, it's in pretty rough shape. We still are looking at gonna utilize that. But we're trying to kind of build up our front area there. So Fair's gonna purchase and buy all the materials, and then me and this guy apparently are building it, so. We just would like approval to be able to place the building there.
Where will people be to enjoy
It's
the
gonna be
stage?
kinda like a street dance. It's gonna face there towards the road, but that way we got.
And plus right across the road too, there's a grass seating area.
Yeah,
there.
and you have the pavilion that's still visible from there, so, something that, yeah, we're gonna obviously use it during the fair, but, I mean, Joe's Music and other concerts and stuff do it, they can still utilize that entire area, so.
How much do you think it'll cost?
I think material's gonna be probably around 8, take a guess,
800?
8,000. It's 800, not just,
But each piece of lumber is under the threshold.
yeah.
Well, I will just need to know the total cost of it so that we can, yeah, add it to
Yeah,
our
yeah, we'll get that once I get a material list for it. Daryl and I are
I'll keep a
kinda
separate
kicking around a couple
Yeah,
different
just so we know.
design
make sure we're-
ideas, so.
yeah, put them on together.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second it.
Okay, with the motions, anybody got any more discussion on it? Not, all those in favor signify by aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Now it's the ambulance.
Is that all that you need,
Yeah.
Char?
You're the meeting.
Char? Good enough? Okay, you don't have to hear from me the rest of the day.
Oh, did you ever talk to Rusk?
We'll be in touch. Okay.
You're gonna replace Mark Schmidt? Do I have to have? Oh, yeah.
So I just gotta take the John.
Okay.
We did some switching once.
Well, once you get approval from John, or I can do, let me know.
Yep.
For sure. I just don't wanna get myself in a gray area.
Okay, ambulance, I just come to explain the same thing I explained to the finance committee the other day, that the bidding process, of course, has changed for all vehicles. And what I bid, in January of this year, 24, won't be paid for till, February, March, or April of 25. So I just wanna make sure that the committees know that what I bid this year, I'm bidding out of my budget for next year, not this year. This year's budget's actually paying for the ambulance I ordered last year. And then, there'll be one more year in a row, I'll be bidding again this year because we got 2014 with over 100,000 miles on it. By the time I get that replaced, it'll be 26, and it'll have a lot more miles than that on it. It'll be, actually 13 years old, because we got it early in 14. So
Now,
it's been bid, it's been approved by our committee, it's been, finance talked about it, and they moved it forward, that they, understood that, and I just wanted to make sure you guys understood that I'm not coming asking permission for when I'm gonna drive in here tomorrow, I'm asking for permission for the one in 25.
okay,
And it might be 26 by then again, you don't know. Because of the 12 bids we got for this year, about half of them were for delivery in 26, not 25. So, it's ticklish out there, because they can't get trucks. So,
next time you can't get cars either.
not what you want. So, I don't know that there has to be a motion on that, I don't know. Finance, approved it by motion by Randy, I think so.
Well, but if it's over, I
Did you?
would.
I don't think you need to, because our committee approves it actually, so.
Right.
And it'll be in my
But there's
budget.
nothing in, it's over the $1,500 threshold for equipment purchase, so I think that they're.
The property should approve
I'll
it.
make the motion. Need a motion?
Yeah.
Alright, made and seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor, signal with aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Right, thank you.
I'm sorry.
What's the district attorney? What's with the district attorney's salary?
Tony, do you mind if we do Jeremy first?
Do Jeremy first.
Hey.
As long as he doesn't talk.
You sure would know? Okay, so, Monday this week, I learned that 26 years ago, a fellow by the name of Joe Kashnik, probably messed up that last name, had purchased a pool table, and him and three or four of his buddies, moved that pool table into the senior center in the weather shield room. Those four buddies have now passed away. He's the last person, met him on Tuesday. He would like to see if we could help coordinate the moving of that pool table from the weather shield room out to the Ladysmith Care Community, because they are willing to have it out there. His mother-in-law is at the Care Community, and his wife visits her mother, and so he would then come and play pool with his buddies. Everybody's passed away. So he'd like to know if we could assist in moving the pool table out of that room to get it over to the Care Community. Seems like a heck of a nice guy. Spent a little time with him, and so really, that's my ask. Their property to say, hey, we can use that room for other things. Can I work with Gary, to see if we can coordinate with the other folks over there and get that thing out of that room and get it moved over?
So moved.
Second.
Hopefully it's not a slate pool table.
Oh, it's a big one. It's a monster.
Cool.
You remember those pool tables when the squabbles that were held over
Yeah.
those pool tables?
This is a monster. Gary knows what I'm talking about. It's gonna take
I
some
have the same
figuring.
exact one in my basement. It's heavy.
So your experience getting it in difficult places.
He's got a great experience.
Actually, I never had to move it there, so. But I've moved like here, so.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor in a second. More discussion on it? None, all those in favor, signify by aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
You can slip that one. Thanks for coming to work today.
Yeah.
See ya. Have a good weekend.
Alright, now we're
I'll
gonna
call
take
them here.
Mr. Turner, and what do we take?
Okay, so, before Ellen left, and I believe this was also a concern of the former district attorney, she had brought up that there is no separate bathroom on the third floor for district attorney's staff, or to be able to separate people who are, victims in a case and people who are being tried for a case. So one of the jury trials that we had in January, they were having to walk people down to the first floor to use our bathrooms to keep that kind of separation. And, I believe that there have been some issues possibly of, you know, I don't know what the right word is, perpetrator, I'm not really sure, victims and the other person, the people against each other in court, their families or whatever, running into each other in the same bathroom. So Ellen's ask, and I believe she had already worked with Gary, is what she said in extension, was to put a bathroom upstairs on the third floor in the overflow part of the district attorney's office, so what used to be the finance office.
I thought Rosemary had kind of brought something like that forward a long time ago.
Yes.
I don't know anything about the bathroom in that area, but I think I proposed, or brought up to you guys when I first started, to put one in the, where you come up the elevator, you put one right in that conference room right there, because there's a bathroom below it in the jail lobby, so it'd be very easy to tie into it. And then my conference room's big enough where you could put a men's and a women's, or you could put two unisex bathrooms in there. I think it's definitely doable. I think the old maintenance person or whatever told certain people that it wasn't doable. It's doable, but I mean, it's gonna cost. I mean, you're gonna have to get state approved drawings, and it's not gonna be, I mean, I could go put a bathroom in there, no problem, but it's not gonna be code. It's gonna cost money to do it. I mean,
Yeah.
but I think it's, my opinion, I think it's very necessary. And that, I mean,
The closer you can get to the water and sewer, the better off it's gonna be.
yeah, and there's a.
Way away from.
Yeah.
Well, that was just Ellen's thought. She just thought one of the offices up there could turn into a bathroom, but I think the concern for the county is that if there was some kind of an altercation that could possibly impact the court case,
So
because we don't have that separation.
the thing is with, so if you would put it over where you were talking about, I don't know all cause the jail's right underneath there. So, like, if you put it in the conference room there, it's the jail lobby, not the jail itself, you know?
But we might have to look at making them private bathrooms.
I would
that-
say,
'cause
I would say maybe like maybe.
Yeah, or badged or something.
Employee bathroom, maybe.
Because if the bathrooms are open, we're not really eliminating the problem of possible cross-contamination.
But you're talking about both sides being public people though, right? You got the witness, the defendant and the accused.
So then it would be up to like Nancy Hahn to badge a witness into the restroom.
But if the other one's still public,
And I'm probably not
if
explaining
I
this-
walk out of the courtroom and I
Right.
didn't check with the right person, I might just walk into.
Right, well,
you
there's
know.
also the considerations of like, should the DA be in the same restroom as someone she's trying, or I am not using the right words. Prosecuting, thank you. That's also a concern. You also have law enforcement that might be testifying on the behalf of, against somebody, should they be in the same bathroom?
I believe like our clerk of courts, they have issues sometimes, I think maybe even the judge, she probably does sometimes, the DA interchambers,
Yeah.
If I was in a court case and the person that was accusing or whatever, I go in the bathroom, I'd be afraid that they may start harassing me about something.
Exactly, and then that's the concern, yeah.
One, two, we gotta get at least an estimate on it.
Yeah,
We
okay.
know how much,
Get some figures on it.
can't just do whatever we do, we don't know.
Right, I know, that's why we came to you, because we don't even know the location that you want us to
Well, the
investigate.
most, best location that makes it easiest.
Yeah,
I may be wrong, oh, I'm sorry.
That conference. Seems like
If that's the best location, yeah.
I may be wrong, but I would venture to guess that that would be probably the best place, just because of what's underneath it.
I guess do some research on it, get some estimates. and-
Cause all the plumbing should be right underneath it then.
Yeah, if you give us like an idea of cost, then we can determine what the bid for, and then we can figure out funding, bids and all that kind of stuff, but the ballpark and where you wanna do it, for sure, double check. You know, follow, due diligence on both locations, or all locations out there, see.
So do you want me to just reach out for, estimate, like a proposal from somebody, or do you want me to, I mean, a full-blown RFP, or just a budget number, or?
It's a budget number, cause then we can put the RFP out. If you're like, okay, I think bids are gonna be around $100,000 or whatever, then we can say, okay, let's put it out for bids, because we got money in this fund to cover around that amount, and then we can still be surprised if it's not guaranteed, but at least it get us in the ballpark of, should we put a bid out and where it should come out of.
Then talk to the bailiffs too, see what they think about the flow
Oh,
out
sure.
there. You know, they would be the most honest ones on, that's actually gonna solve our problem or not.
So we just, what, we need a motion, how to do that, or just?
No, that's just
Well-
doing research, yeah, number tag on it.
Alright, need to settle. And then let's go to joint manager, green space for the farmers. Do you know anything about that?
So, Jamie, do you mind, doing the curtain for the?
yeah.
Okay, so, what the city is looking at is, so the farmer's market pavilion is gonna be constructed kind of on the west end of the parking lot there. And I think that based off Gary's email last night, the supplies are coming soon.
I got an email at 4:00 saying they're closing it off,
They've already got it marked
so
off.
they said they're gonna start on Monday, but that's the first I heard about it, but, I wanted to get that email out right away.
Yeah, for sure.
Was it like, we're going on?
Yeah.
That's been a little while, so.
Yep, it has. So that's already been approved, and we approved a letter of support back a long time ago through the board. So now the city would like to construct a green space, including like a play area for kids and maybe some picnic tables, where that, what is that wire called, Randy?
Guy wire.
A guy wire is, so it wouldn't be taking away any parking spaces necessarily, cause it's kind of already an unusable space. But the concern was, is that going to make maintenance's job harder in terms of lawn mowing and snow plowing if there's a bunch of stuff there?
We were also talking about.
Actually, they were looking at putting in, taking out those 6 spaces.
Oh, they approved A and B?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so never mind, we would still be losing parking.
Yeah.
But the main concern was, is that making maintenance's life more difficult to have stuff there, and are we okay giving up those parking spots?
Yeah, well, also wondering if it needs to, because we may be losing other parking spots too.
Due to the pavilion construction, right?
And potentially, you know, if we move forward with the jail.
Yeah, we would lose the employee parking to the south there.
I would say let him build the pavilion, which you've already agreed to, and then we can deal on the green space afterwards, I would think.
Or are they looking at doing this at the same time though?
I don't
The
know.
pavilion's already approved.
Right, but
Yeah.
if they add the green space,
Yeah.
are they looking at complete both projects around the same time, or are they looking for approval right away on that?
Oh, green space wouldn't take a long time. Basically, it's him and that concrete, though. You know?
Yeah, I think they said it costs about $14,000 that they would pay for.
Contingent
Put
on
some tables up.
here in the county board, so. To me, you know, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of another.
build some sort of a, I don't know, canopy, I guess, out there.
You got something?
I
Yeah.
asked if you could be able to park a vehicle under it, like in the winter time, to keep the snow and the frost off the windshields, but that wouldn't be that big, but.
Did you have any big concerns about maintenance?
No, I'm just looking right now, I mean, obviously, we're gonna lose the spots where the pavilion's at, which is fine, nobody parks over there anyways.
No, I don't think we are, because I thought that there was space between those two rows, and I thought that the pavilion was gonna go between those two rows, and that people would still be able to park on either side of the pavilion.
Well, if that's the case, I mean, that's fine, but did you say something about maybe losing some spots for the green space? How many spots were you thinking for the green space?
So the ones by the abstract company right up
So
here.
you see it, okay, so where that wire comes down, it'd be all the spaces to the end
Yeah.
from there. So the
Okay.
one, there's like 3 spots on this side of it that would stay.
Yep.
This is just for the
Yeah.
green space now.
So it's like from, yeah, past that guide wire.
Two, is that where
Okay.
we park right now, so that is like.
There's no, yeah, you can't get a car, cause that.
Why don't-
Turn it over to her?
No.
Yeah, but they would use either six parking spaces there. Cars do park there now, so.
I would say for maintenance, for
You know,
maintenance,
I'm not sure
wise,
what section it's going.
it'll be fine, we'll make it work, however, and, I mean, that parking lot's never full.
No.
You know what I mean, so, I mean, it's half full all the time, but I mean, it's never
Never
full.
overcrowded.
But we'll lose all the spots over there.
That hasn't been voted, so we don't know
Yeah.
Right.
what's going on over there.
But we can always pave the old church parking lot too. You know, if we needed spots.
I would say that we should at least recommend the board take a look at it. Vote on it, forward it to the full county board, and maybe we could ask, should be aware of, like, I'm guessing maybe Al Christensen's involved with this quite a bit or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
If we could ask him to present on it at the next board meeting.
And then have their pavilion on that map too. I have some concerns, cause I thought the pavilion was going to that end, and then you're gonna have kids area where they have to walk 2 people driving, cause that's gonna be a little more intense, cause it's not gonna be as wide open. So,
And I don't know, maintenance takes care of snow up there, that pavilion, I think is gonna be.
In the way.
Yeah, in a way, so.
Russ Thompson brings their loaders in there, so I mean, that's gonna be probably the only issue with maintenance. We can take care of the handwork, it'll be fine. Obviously, we just have to talk to Russ Thompson, he needs to be careful with the loaders, you know, backing into stuff.
So I'll make a motion
Somebody's done that.
For the county board.
forward to county board, yeah, I'm not making a recommendation.
He got us in.
Forward to county board. And hopefully, hopefully we can get Al at the county board to just present on it or something too.
with your map, with everything on it.
Yeah, cause then it'll make it easier for me to
Yeah,
understand.
this doesn't show the pavilion.
No,
it
that's
shows
what I
the
wanna
other
see.
spots, Yeah.
So I just wanted to, my email I sent out to everybody, you know, I believe they're already starting, but the email says they're starting Monday, but they said 2 to 3 weeks to complete. Was that completing the pavilion, just the pavilion, or?
I believe it's just the
Okay, so the green
pavilion.
space.
Yeah, I don't
No,
think
cause that's not officially approved.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but the way they explained it was that pavilion, it's not even gonna be wide enough to park a whole car underneath it. So it's gonna go kind of between those 2 parking lanes, so that the vendors will kind of back in, and then the customers will walk through that pavilion and have some shade while they're shopping.
Yep.
That'd be like Phoenix Park in Clear, you can actually get in the shade, and vendors sometimes get the tail of the sun coming.
Okay, we have a motion made and second for this county board. Any more discussion on it? Sure. I thought I heard second. Okay, all those in favor signify by aye. Opposed? There, you're up with building and grounds.
You wanna do the old hospital nursing home quick, or?
We did that.
County travel, what's that?
Out of county well, I guess, just on the old hospital nursing home, I talked to Haas, they said they were gonna finish up, they're gonna seed it this week, and they're pretty much finished up.
They're gonna email it, right? Got some boxes.
I don't believe they're gonna email it, I guess we have to see, but, does any of the buddy from property wanna do a punch list out there, or do you just want me to do that, or? A punch list out there?
Which is like everything done, just like there.
Yeah, making sure that the contract is fulfilled.
I mean, I don't need to.
It looks pretty decent.
When you do it, if you let me know if I have it for free, I would just go on, depending on what you're doing. But don't hold up the process based on,
Well, in the RFP, it said, I believe it was seeded, topsoil seed and, erosion control, basically, so I don't know exactly what,
Putting a mulch on it, be the erosion control.
yeah, they might be, you almost have to because any rain will.
It's gonna make erosion.
It's a pretty steep slope there.
It's too early to seed anything too, it's ground too cold. No, it ain't.
No, you can still, could, but. Yeah, that's all I had on that, I guess, but, building and grounds, I'll just make it short here, everything, got a lot of plans for the summer here for everything, everything seems to be going okay. I do have out of county travel here, I guess there's an airport conference coming up.
I'll make a
What's the cost?
He said airport.
$495.
All set.
Bill? All those in favor, signify by aye. Opposed, motion carries. Now we got airport report.
Airport report, everything's going pretty well up there, I think, we just got a new fuel master, I told you guys that last month. That has its little bit of kinks, but we're working it out. I actually showed Jamie, and I think she kinda likes the system there, she can share her thoughts on it. Obviously, there's a lot to it, and a lot more to do with it, we just need to look at it a little more.
Yeah, it's still like in the beta version, it seems like it's not super user friendly, but I imagine they'll put out updates that'll make it easier to use.
Is that one, can you run the reports from here instead of having to go out there?
Yeah.
Yep. Then, we're working on, I told you guys last time, we're working on, the runway to get repaired, seal coated, the state's gonna take care of that. County's gonna have to pay 5%. Working on land acquisitions, that's coming in the process. Working on a new AWAS system out there, that's coming. And, I do have a.
Sign this one.
You want me to go right to the addendum for the airport? On the addendum, it was the airport too?
Yeah, I would say, go for it.
So, Tom Kopes, he leases a hangar out there, but he's asked me, since he's leased one, if he could, build a hangar in the old part of the old area out there. And, so there's three lots available out there. He'd be interested in, number 12 here. Right here. And, I don't know all the exact rules and protocols of it yet, but he'd like to get started on it, and I was just wondering if you guys would approve for him to maybe take lot 12 there. Dick Peterson is right next to him there, and that's a different lease rate for the other one, for the land lease. I would just ask if, maybe for 2024, maybe we, maybe we, just let him use that lot for 2024 and build his hangar, and then thereafter, starting 2025, charge him a lease rate of, basically what the Peterson's is right next to it. And then, he had told me in the past, he had talked to, Andy, and that's what Andy kinda said, maybe free during construction, and then once it was built, he would get charged. Correct.
Yeah, I would kind of wonder if we'd want to take down some sort of deposit, for like environmental remediation. If at some point in time that hangar is abandoned, so we can use it towards demolition and removal.
I don't think that would be a problem with Tom, but, it would definitely be a benefit to have a new hangar out there, because right now it kinda looks run down.
Yeah, that's like a hangar town out there.
That's the old one.
Yeah, so if you put a new hangar out there, it might spark some, other people might want the other lots out there, I don't know, you know.
Either way, we got an empty lot sitting there that somebody's gonna build a building that even if abandoned would add value for ourselves. And we're gonna start getting real money out of them.
And then it would free up his hangar in the north, the other end, for somebody else to have it.
And that's a heated hangar. So I mean, that one,
Yep.
if we ever don't have interest in a heated hangar, I'll give other people options. I'd love a heated hangar. It's just, I know they're easy to rent out, so I won't. I will help give other people opportunities.
Who's gonna build it, yep?
Yeah, all the costs would be
I
up
think
there.
it's a cost, who's actually constructing it?
So,
Contractor.
Then that would be up to him.
so I think even if you're gonna choose not to charge him a rate while it's being constructed, I still think we should enter into some kind of a lease agreement with him. So all of the terms are clear and we all know what, and we can make sure he's got, if he's,
Yeah, if you wait till after it's
then he
built.
might be like,
But this is what we thought by the
Yeah.
box. I agree with you.
okay,
For both sides.
so yeah, so we don't want that.
And what do you want to, put a deposit requirement on there?
So.
The other ones have them.
You wanna approve him to build an airport
should.
hangar on Lot 12 with a
Oh, dirt,
Yeah,
lease agreement, right? And you want a deposit.
How much?
And then he wouldn't really get charged until he starts actually using it.
Okay, so no lease payments during construction.
But the agreement being signed.
And how much do you want for a deposit? Is $2,000 reasonable? Or,
Do you wanna just do what a yearly lease would cost, or?
that's only like $300.
I think it's 411 for that one.
How much?
411 for
Lease rate?
for that whole particular one, I think.
It'd be the same as Dick Peterson, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like $288.26.
That's not the information I have, but I don't know what.
What was it, Judy?
$288.26.
I guess I was just going off that old spreadsheet. So-
That was Andy's, and
Yeah.
I think that was when Dick had the FBO.
Okay.
And so there was an extra fee for that, but since he's not the FBO, it doesn't do that anymore. That's why it went.
Okay, we have a motion made in second. Really, that's lease. Opposed, all in favor? Opposed?
So what did we land on, 288? So I just need to know how to write the lease. Whatever the yearly cost is, you want this security deposit? Okay.
Alright. Anything else on the airport?
Nope.
Insurance, county cars?
Do you guys have any questions on the reports that were provided? I think we just, at the end, I think it was at the end of January, maybe beginning of February, we had a squad, squad for the deer. Otherwise, not a lot of activity on the insurance. A couple, or last month or the month before, we one of them has a topper, that forestry doesn't need or want. And so I wanted approval from you guys to sell that topper and advise on how you would like it sold.
Should we do, this thing where we get it on an auction, or do you think?
Yeah,
it's
well,
worth-
usually those come with a lot though, and so like, unless we have, I don't know, highway has a lot
We
that
just
they.
did it, when did last week?
So, yeah, I don't know, it's not gonna be a very large dollar amount.
I would say put it on the highway till they start selling, so, till you get up.
Okay, so give it to
Understand.
highway to put out on the next auction lot. Okay.
Second.
Motion made second is to, display it at the highway department. On that.
Mom, look.
Questions? All in favor, signify by aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Now we're down to IT now.
Alright. In regards to last time, you guys had approved several things for us to go forward with. The North Camera project, was completed on budget. The Sheriff's Department tank doorway project was completed, on budget. You guys had approved for me to get a cable tester for the IT department. We were able to get that on a sale, so we saved about $1,200 on that one. So we're under budget on that. And as far as the purchases go, Land Information has asked me to present to you, their request. It's already been through their committee and it's been approved. It's for a HP Design Jet T630. And what that's for is for them just to print out, their maps and different things that they need, in the course of them doing their business. The one that John Fitz was using right now has lasted about 20 years. So it's got a lot of use out of it. We did get 3 quotes, the highest being $1,899, the lowest being $1,834.49. And so they've got the funds to purchase that. We're just looking for permission to make that purchase, because it's over $1,500.
So, is John gonna look at it, I mean, those posts, those prices are so close, is John gonna look at it and see which is most advantageous for him?
No, he left, as far as the money goes, he left that to me.
Okay.
So these
Or you
are with,
or somebody.
what's that?
Yeah, somebody can, we might wanna pick, not the cheapest one or the middle one, it has more advantages, so.
Yeah, so I can explain that real quick to you too. So HP directly was the $18.99, going through Amazon was $18.49, and then CDWG, who we do a lot of business with, was $18.34.49. And so CDWG actually has it in stock as well, so we can get it quite quickly. But that's where we do a lot of that kind of stuff, some maybe the bigger stuff like that. But yeah, so John's on board with this. I've discussed it with him quite a bit as far as that goes.
Okay, we have a motion made, second, approval, approving Land Information purchase that matter. Any more discussion on it? Not, all those in favor signify by aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Somebody want to read the bills?
So moved.
Check.
Second.
That's Jerry.
I do have one quick thing though. I've looked through that and I'm always amazed how much stuff does cost. But then I see a step ladder for $34.
Step ladder?
Yeah.
We just, actually, I just purchased, a small step ladder for it in here. It was, one of them, well, it's more like a household one.
Okay, 3 steps to one.
Yep.
Okay. Cause a decent 6-foot ladder, step ladder, you couldn't get for $34.
No, it's just a little,
Okay.
it's for if you need to go up in a tile here or something,
Okay.
and then, actually, one of the guys asked for it, cause we have a 2-footer. This one here is just a little bit, 3-footer.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe, motion made, second to approve the bills. Any more discussion on them? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. What's the date for next meeting? Make you suffer to the end. Make a motion to adjourn. Have we adjourned?
Everybody have a good weekend.
Yep.
Mr. Mean.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.